Welcome to the Kindness Project, the podcast designed to share stories of kindness and share how kindness can make positive change in our world, one small act at a time.
This time on the Kindness Project, Scantily Clad Sleepwalking, Picasso Daems and Holly Corbyn.
Hello!
Morning, morning!
Hello!
Welcome to another episode of the Kindness Project Live. I'm joined by my two fellow members of the failed barbershop quartet, the Daems, it's Charlotte and Sophie.
Hey!
Hello!
And let me do the individual introductions. I'm joined by a girl who's tried to put a beard on a chicken for some reason. It's Sophie Daems.
I was doing Soph's
Oh,
introduction.
what did you do, Sophie?
I was going to say, I'm joined by a girl who could be the future Picasso without all the naked women. It's Sophie Daems.
Have you drawn any naked women in your images? No.
I've drawn you in the streets naked.
Right. Where did that come from? Right. Right, let me share this story, and I've told it on the podcast
You
before,
have,
but
yes.
I'm gonna tell it again for our live audience. When I was about 16, when I was a kid, I used to sleepwalk, and I haven't done it for years. I'm 42 now. I haven't done it for years, but when I was a kid, I used to sleepwalk, and we be careful with the table, ladies. Wobbly camera. I went for a sleepwalk in my pants,
Like it was optional.
out in the street, and locked myself out when I was about 16. I wandered around the corner, sleepwalking. Woke up. It was October, very, very cold, and found myself in my pants. And I made the fundamental error of telling my 7-year-old daughter at the time that story. 2 weeks later, Sophie comes up to me and says, by the way, Dad,
Today I told the whole class that you went out, that you slept walking in your pants and you locked yourself out.
yeah, and I asked Sophie how that happened, and she went, oh, it just came up in conversation. How does that genuinely come up in conversation?
Someone was talking about pants and I was like...
Yada yada underwear, yada yada pants. Oh, I have a brilliant story about
I've
pants.
got a story about pants and my dad. I don't know what is going on with the world. So, did you have some introductions to share with us, Soph, or not?
Yes.
I'm joined by a man who thought he was getting one bean in his beans and toast.
Yeah, well, I got offered this morning for breakfast a bean on toast, which is quite good fun. What did you have for breakfast, Soph?
I had Mummy's yogurt and peanut butter dip with fruit.
Oh, that
and
is
apples.
that is good. What did you have?
I joined you in the Beans on Toast Club.
The bean on toast club.
The Bean on Toast. It was carefully balanced on 2 slices of bread.
It was all good. And welcome again to our listeners. Hi Haidee, thanks for joining us live on the Kindness Project. Really appreciate it. And thanks for all our contributors yesterday and Sunday. We're now on episode 3, and long may it continue. Should we do today's question of the podcast?
Yes.
What is your favourite poem? And we've already had a bunch of rather silly but also some sensible answers.
What's your favourite poem, Papa?
Oh, really good question. Now, I like quite depressing war poetry. So there's a poet called Wilfred Owen that I absolutely love at this time. But my other favourite is the one and only Spike Milligan.
I know. I like the sardine one.
Yeah.
The sardine poem. If you've never ever heard Spike Milligan's sardine poem,
Well,
you need to get a bit of that in your life.
You used to tell me that your favourite poem was the Jabberwocky when you were younger.
You know what? The reason I love the Jabberwocky is because I could recite every single word, and I'm not convinced I could do that now. I know it's got something about slidey toads in, but stuff like that.
And Vorpal blades and
blades.
Jub birds.
I mean, it's got a bit about slidey toads, but the way Sophie tells the story, that's just me and my pants. But what's your... Go on, Sophie.
Should we tell
What poem?
The sardine one.
Go on then, you do it.
A young sardine saw his first submarine. You daddy.
And he took a look through the peephole.
He gasped as he looked. Go on, start again.
A young sardine saw his first submarine.
He gasped as he looked through the peephole.
Come, said the sardines, Mum. It's only a tin full of people.
And that, my friends, is Sardines by Spike Milligan. Spike Milligan has got another one called This Is the End.
Oh, the one
And
about the man who's drowning and the man who's ill.
But it's really long, but really funny.
Apart from that, a fire in my flat.
It's been a pretty good day.
been a pretty good day.
So yeah, so we want to know, viewers, and if you're watching live, let us know what your favourite poem is. Sophie, talk to me a bit about what you're doing on your mural, because I'm looking out to the garden right now, and it looks like you are doing like a massive picture of what?
Like, we're going to look up to the ceiling tomorrow morning. You'll have painted the new,
Yeah. You'll have the Sistine Chapel up in
There
our
we
front room.
go.
I just wanted to paint, and I just painted stuff about Egypt, and I'm drawing fruit.
Drawing fruit. Okay, that's fine.
We're gonna have an
and
Egyptian mural.
talk to me about, because you had a school project, and you had to tell the story of Easter, but you drew a picture of Jeremy Corbyn. Why was that?
It was Jesus!
It was definitely Jeremy Corbyn.
Oh, go get it! It's
Go and get it. Go and get it.
It looks like...
I don't know if anywhere on the planet, morning Hazel, I'm glad you like Spike as well. I don't know if anybody on the planet is confused. Right, show our viewers the photo, and they can make their minds up whether it's Jeremy Corbyn or Jesus. Right, let me show you. That is clearly that one there. Oh no, not that one. That one there. Clearly Jeremy Corbyn.
It's Jesus!
Go and put it back.
Oh my... Jeremy Corbyn.
Oh my Jeremy Corbyn. Anyway, what should we talk about on the show today?
Beans on toast?
Beans and toast, we've done that.
Yeah, we've done that.
I want to talk about my socially isolated running. So, just to keep my sanity, I am still running, but I'm making sure that I'm keeping 2 metres away from everybody, which involves me doing that. I mean, our listeners can't see what I'm doing, but I'm doing like a snake.
Like, you know that thing where in the trick shows they do it with animals, like, and they have the posts and they have to weave around them. That's kind of the motion you're making.
I'm doing that.
Like, as if the people are like invisible posts.
Yeah, so I am still running. We're lucky enough to live right in front of a county park, so I'm making the most of that. Hazel agrees with you and says it's clearly Jeremy Corbyn. No, she said it's clearly Jesus, so that's fine.
We have a Sophie supporter.
You're entitled to your opinion, Hazel. Clearly wrong, but that's fine.
You're not allowed to say that about people's opinions.
Right, so I am still running, and listeners, give us a shout out if you are still trying to exercise in these unusual times, because it'd be good to share those stories. And I know Hazel is, because she goes to my gym.
Oh no.
So what I want to do is start small business shout out, because there is one nomination that we've had, and that is for the gym that I'm a member of, Squad Fitness. They've done some amazing stuff to help its members carry on exercising, including online.
Yeah, every evening in our living room.
Yeah, every evening in our living room, I'm jumping around via Zoom, and you've got involved a couple of times, Sophie. Yeah.
I've got involved all times, except from one.
But only when you want to. It's like, I'm bored of that jumping jack now. I'm going to go and do some painting.
Hazel's giving us a smiley face.
Yeah. So big shout out to the guys at Squad Fitness. Thank you for what you're doing to help us keep fit. And a big shout out to Mr. Joe Wicks, who's doing some amazing work. And we did a Joe Wicks workout. Yeah, so we like PE with Joe as well. And the amazing gyms and fitness centres across the country who are supporting their members where they can. I think keeping fit, particularly when we're in lockdown.
Lockdown.
You just went lockdown. What's an lockdown?
You'd already started the word and I wanted to join in, so I was like, lockdown.
Now we're in lockdown. Now we're in lockdown.
Where's lockdown? Is it just round the corner?
It is, yeah. So now we're in lockdown. It's important that we maintain good mental health, and fitness, I reckon, is part of doing that. What do you reckon?
Yes, we're gonna plough through.
Otherwise, we'll drop our L's and we'll be in lockdown.
That's just correct.
Sarah Lou, thanks for your nomination for Shane and Holly. Shane runs a hair salon and Holly does beauty treatment. And when I asked Sarah why we should be supporting Shane and Holly, Sarah said she's known Shane for many years. She always comes out feeling like a new woman. Shane treats his staff amazingly well, and Holly's got the beauty shop upstairs, and Holly's one of the most positive, inspirational people that Sarah knows. Haidee, glad the kids are doing the kiddie yoga, and Lauren joined in this morning. Good to hear. On the small business shout out as well, Debbie Davidson said she'd like to mention her hubby Brett. Now, Brett's an amazing guy who supports financial planners actually across the country, and he's offered to, for anybody who's worried about their business, to give him a buzz and have a chat through with him. And he's a super guy with loads of experience. And Al, again, who works for a financial planning business, said that his employer is supporting him massively well.
Yeah.
So Dave, again, has stepped up to the plate and given us a bunch of additional reasons to be grateful. Thank you, Dave. We really appreciate the work you're doing on that. And here's today's silver linings and reasons to be grateful.
Am I starting?
I thought there was a jingle.
Reasons to be grateful.
Lockdown edition. Go on, you do.
Okay. Music teachers across the country have switched to delivering online lessons using Zoom, Skype, and other video calling apps. It's really important to keep the music coming.
Now, you know what, Soph? I think your music teacher has sent some stuff online for you to learn. So thank you to Sophie's music teacher, but also for the amazing music teachers out there who are switching to Zoom to deliver their stuff.
Yes, okay. Lots of zoos are deploying live webcams so we can see the animals even if we can't visit. And Dave has given us some links. Ooh.
Yeah, and we'll make sure that after we go live, we post them on the show notes, which our amazing editor Russell is certainly going to be doing after every live podcast we do.
Brussels sprout Dave.
Have you just insulted our editor?
No, we can't lose it. Okay, there's been an explosion in the number of people offering to help those self-isolating with shopping, dog walking, and other errands. If you're able to help, please sign up. And he's asking for other examples. So
Dave has promised us today that he's posting reasons to be grateful every day, and I've said to Dave that we're going to include them as a regular segment in the Kindness Project podcast. And once we get our head round including other people in the podcast, like getting them on Zoom, you can. Because you live in the same house, all you need to do is pop on.
Just an inch.
Dave, unfortunately, doesn't live here. It'd be a bit weird if he did.
New flat, mate,
Yeah.
Watch it, mate.
Dave, do you want to move in, mate? I mean, it'd just be... I know you miss your family, but it'd be easier for the podcast. So what we're going to...
just get him a satin booth to put up in his own home and a little microphone.
So what we're going to try and do in a future episode is try and get Dave on.
Why don't we just make a tunnel from his house to our house?
Good. Do you want to start doing that? Out the garden
we'll
now.
get you a shovel.
Right. So thank you, Dave.
Yes.
And we are going to work out how you can be a contributor live in a future episode once we get our heads around it.
Yes.
And what I want to do next is talk about two amazing episodes we did. But I had the privilege of interviewing a guy called Andy Furneaux.
Yes.
And Andy works with a organisation that I'm proud to support called St Francis Hospice.
What, this lot?
Weirdly, I'm using their pen at the minute. There we go, St Francis Hospice. Flying it across the screen.
Superman.
And St Francis do end of life care for people who are doing who need it. Certainly, as we sit in the current situation, their services are going to be needed more than normal. I'm really proud to support them. I'm doing the marathon for them now in October. They do amazing work, and I just want to give a big shout out to them. And if you please listen to those two episodes of the podcast, because Andy explains the amount of care and love and attention people who work there give to the people who use their services. So I'm really proud to support them. I'd suggest you listen to the podcast. They do amazing work, and we'll share what episodes that is on the show notes, so you can go back and give that a bit of a listen, because that's definitely worth doing.
Amara says hi.
Amara says hi.
Hello!
Yeah. So Amara, if you're watching live, what's your favourite poem? And have you ever told a story about your dad in his pants? Because if you haven't,
Do it!
no, don't do it. Don't do it.
Do it!
Right, thank you.
Don't go her on.
On Stop going to Amara. Right. And on to the question of the podcast. We are still waiting for live comments on our poem, but let me just share some of the answers. Some of the answers we had, less than appropriate, but no less appropriate than Sophie's story. So we're gonna do them anyway. John Charman, thanks John for your comment, said there was an old man from China who wasn't a very good climber. He slipped on a rock. I'm not finishing that, John. I'm definitely not finishing that.
Especially not live on Facebook with kids watching.
No, exactly. Then it just descended into my mate Billy had a 10-foot. This is just going mad. The boy sat on a burning deck eating red hot scallops, and then Fatty and Skinny. I wanted serious answers, people. Karina Murray said, thanks for John and Haidee for putting that nonsense together. Karina Murray said, rub-a-dub-dub, thank you for the grub. And Tamsin Kane had a couple of amazing answers. First, by one of my favourite poets, Wilfred Owen, Dulce et Decorum, which is a very, very...
Is that the one about it being like, although they say it's like noble to die in war, it's not?
Yeah. I mean, it really viscerally describes the feeling of war, I think. I mean, it's an amazing poem. And The Owl and the Pussycat is another one, which is an amazing little poem. Haidee Ball said, "You are old, Father William," which I've not heard of.
No.
By Lewis Carroll or Jabberwocky. And while you guys are having a chat to our audience, I'm going to Google "You Are Old, Father William" because I haven't.
I've heard of the next one. But The Road Not Taken's really good. We did it at school.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah.
So it's interesting because one of the reasons that I asked this question, and if you're a friend of mine on Facebook, you'll know that over the last couple of years, Sophie and I have done something on Facebook called.
She can't remember.
Poetry Corner. And Sophie and the Ghost Joke User.
Yeah, well, people prefer Poetry Corner, to be honest, but yeah, so...
You can take, we've just had a comment from Haidee Ball.
Yeah.
You can take the girl out of the East End, but not the gutter sense out of humour.
True. I mean, like, genuinely, I love a bit of Carry On style.
I don't like those movies.
No, yeah, but they're not... The weird thing is, right, about those movies, is they're of a... generation that, like, if you grew up with them, you're probably in a situation where you probably like them. You Are Old, Father William. So let's have a look at that. And I'm going to recite this while we're here. You are old, Father William, the young man said, and your hair has become very white, and yet you incessantly stand on your head. Do you think at your age it is right?
Course gone.
In my youth, Father William replied to his son, I feared it might injure the brain, but now that I'm perfectly sure I have none, I will do it again and again.
You were old, said the youth, as I mentioned before, and have grown most uncomfortably fat. Yet you turned a back somersault in at the door. Pray, what is the reason of that?
In my youth, said the sage as he shook his grey locks, I kept all my limbs very supple. By use of this ointment, 1 shilling the box. Allow me to sell you a couple. So?
You are old, said the youth, and your jaws are too weak for anything tougher than...
Suet.
Yet you finished the goose with the bones and the beak. Pray, how do you manage to do it?
In my youth, said his father, I took to the law and argued each case with my wife, and the muscular strength which it gave to my jaw has lasted the rest of my life.
Been there, done that. You are old, said the youth. One would hardly suppose that your eye was as steady as ever, yet you balanced an eel on the end of your nose. What made you so awfully clever?
I've answered these 3 questions, and that is enough, said his father. Don't give yourself airs. Do you think I can listen all day to such stuff? Be off. I'll kick you downstairs.
Enough. That is a poem by Lewis Carroll called You Are Old, Father William. We really like that. So thanks for sharing. And on that note, my friends, it is the end of another live kindness project.
Is it really?
Thank you.
Is it really?
Oh no, I forgot about the bit at the end that we've included that I'm really trying to move over quite quickly, but Charlotte loves this bit. Good, Charlotte. Joke of the day.
Okay.
Be prepared to not laugh.
You should try not to laugh.
Okay.
If it's funny though.
It's not.
You've got to try not to laugh. It is.
You go into a bathroom American. You come out American. What are you when you're in there?
American.
Don't know.
European. It's not that funny.
European. And on that note, my friends, that's it for another podcast.
Yeah.
Goodbye.